The audio is good and we are all set to start. So welcome to this session where we are speaking about how we follow the top to bottom approach at WheatRender using MarketProfile and how we figure out the references going forward. We start with the monthly. We also have these reports which are published on the website in the under the forum section. So right now on the screen, we have the monthly report of October 2023. So which was published once the month got over. These are the spot charts and these references are all of spot. For longer time frame, we follow spot, and then on the daily and the week, for the longer time frame of monthly and weekly, we follow spot charts, and for the daily, we follow the series futures references because the volumes are in futures. So for the trading wise intraday time frame, we follow the future levels and we trade in options, in the money options, which are as good as trading having a 60 to 80% of what futures will give you a move. So I'll come to that later. So starting with the monthly profile chart, which we had, this is the last month's profile analysis, market profile analysis. Because we are market profilers, we look at what market profile is doing on all time frame, then accordingly jot down the levels. So we have this monthly profile divided into the weeklies, and then we see what each week has done. This is the weekly chart. We see what the weekly chart has done for the month of October and how we are uh, positioned for the next leg. So this is the ending brief. It tells what uh, profile was formed on the monthly basis. The monthly profile for October was a neutral extreme to the downside, and we had mentioned this couple of scene of crimes at these two levels. And along with it, we had also mentioned what had happened on the larger time frame. It has moved away from a larger time frame 4-month balance. So we had a big huge overlapping value forming on the monthly time frame. The 4 months, I'll open up the monthly chart and even go to that. So this is how we do the analysis once a month is complete, once a week is complete, and once a day is complete. So we go by the top to bottom approach we see on the monthly, weekly, and then the daily. So these were the references which are given, and we had the value area of the month and the important levels both on the upside and the downside. So I'll quickly come on to the profile chart. So right now we are at the market profile section of WheatRender charts, and we will move to the how do we get the monthly chart. So we go to spot TPO, and then we have these tabs here: daily, weekly series, monthly, and monthly series. Series is the weekly series is starting from Friday in Nifty and closing on uh, Thursday, and for Bank Nifty it will be Thursday to Wednesday. So we are looking at spot. So we'll take the monthly spot chart, and this is the monthly spot chart on screen of Nifty. So I'll just reduce zoom in so that all the charts are visible. So if we take these 4 months, this is July, August, September, and October. So all of them have formed overlapping value, but what happened in October is we moved away from this overlapping value and we tested this buying extension handle, which came late in June. This was a 2-year extension handle, which came at, I think, 18,886. So we had made similar highs in December 2022 and once previous prior to that also. So this extension handle meant that good initiative buying has come in that this level. So July went on to be a trending month, but after that we started to form a balance. Although in September we had a trend up month where we made new all-time highs of 2222, the value was more or less the same. And October, what happened was we negated this buying tail of September and again found value overlapping. So what we do when value is overlapping is we try to form a composite. So I have selected these 4 months and I am merging them. So we get a 4-month composite, which is what was spoken about in the report also. So you can see this is the composite and I'll just display the value area of this composite. So you have this 83 days composite, which is the 4 months from July to October. And this is the value area 19330, 19542 and 19792. So when we started the November month, and I'll just split this profile so that we can see what happened day by day. So I'm just doing a quick revision of what happened in November and how we can look forward to what can happen in December. So when we closed in October, we had these references which I have given in this monthly chart. We have section called monthly zones. So we have the settlement day rollover point. This was the rollover point on expiry day, it was 26th October. The maximum volume which came into the close was at 18964 November futures. And this VWAP and POC references are for the spot levels. So 19468 was the VWAP of the October series and 19537 was the POC. And as we can see, we closed October at I think 19,050 levels in spot. So when we opened the new month in November, we actually went lower. We made a low of 18975, I think, on the first day. And then from that day onwards, we started making a trending move higher. So we can see how the market profile chart shows us this initiative buying tail here. We had a responsive buying tail at the close of September. We had that move to 18837, which was the low of 26, and then we closed at 19,030. So we had one responsive buying tail, and November started with an initiative buying tail, which gets confirmed after the first week of the auction has happened. So it was very clear that the selling was over and some demand was back into the market in Nifty. So what we went on to do is we entered this value area, the composite value area. And although this was an important swing reference, the POC of that composite, entering back into this value area meant that the buyers were taking over control from the sellers. What we saw in the second half of October. So we the trend had changed. It had reversed to the upside. So what we can see how we made the high of, we tagged the POC and then immediately we gave a retracement. So that was an indication that market is trying to absorb whatever supply was coming here. And because this was an important swing reference, and what happened, how we took out that swing reference was through a gap up. And after the gap up, we then went on to make the value area high. We call this concept as 80% rule in market profile, where you have a previously well balanced value area and the auction enters the value from any side. There's a 80% chance of it completing the entire value area zone. So it went on to hit this value area high. But what happened was when it hit this, it could not sustain. And the first time it hit, it left a small responsive selling tail. So that was an indication that maybe uh, above the composite value, we are again getting supply. So we were looking for a revisit of this composite. But then what happened was we had left a daily VPOC at 19693 and this pullback made a low of 19703, I think. So that is why following the daily chart also helps us to identify what is happening on the shorter time frame. I will show you the daily charts also so that we can, in fact, we can do it in the same frame. You have this option of dividing this into two tabs, and I will open up the TPO daily chart on my right hand side so that we can compare what is happening on the intraday front. So I'll just quickly So this is that VPOC I was talking about, the 693. And when we hit that POC, we made this pullback. We hit that value area high and that previous month's uh, high of 19850, which was a important reference. So we hit that, but we left a responsive selling tail and we made this retracement down to this point, which was here. So another point what I forgot to mention is when we entered this value area, we entered the value area here on 6th of November. After we entered the value area, we can see two lows which were made at this 19329 level. This 19329 level is where the composite value area low was. So this is how it helps to have the monthly time frame and the levels which are there and see what it is doing, what the auction does on the daily time frame at those levels. So it was very clear that it is taking support at the value area low. That means it wants to do the entire 80% rule. So we went on to tag the highs of 850 and then we made this retracement. So we did have this FA on 22nd of November, but the low it made stalled right above this POC, which was a marker that if the POC is being defended, that the upside is still not over. And after which you can see again overlapping values over here. So these days also we are just forming a balance because there was an equal fight between the buyers and the sellers. This was a previous supply zone, so there was supply which was coming in and the buyers were trying to push up. So this entire stretch was a balance. So but just because of this VPOC being held, after this move and this FA, we knew that there is a the buyers are getting little more stronger. And then on 28th, we left this important FA at 19800. So at the same point, even the monthly POC of spot shifted to the same level. So FA is a very important concept in market profile and it gives us a swing reference. So when we got this FA, it was all the more signs that the upside is got open. And immediately we took out this similar highs of 19875 which we made on 16th and 23rd, and we went on to close as a neutral extreme profile. And as I was telling, this was a balance which was forming on the larger time frame. So I'll just quickly make the composite so that we can see. So this was a 7-day balance which was forming, and the 16th of November was a trend day up, but which got supply at the highs. So immediately we got a retracement. So here you can see how we have moved away from this balance. We have left a FA right at the POC of that balance. And this was a sign that a new imbalance is beginning. And at the same time, we can see it is moving away from this 4-month composite balance. So this is happening on the higher time frame. So you can expect a bigger move. So higher the time frame, bigger the move. So if the same thing was happening on a smaller time frame chart, the range would be a lesser expected one. So once we did this neutral extreme, the very next day we got this big elongated profile on 29th, which was more like a trend day. And we went on to enter into that gap zone which we had left after the Ganesh Chaturthi highs we made on September 15th. So the next day opened with a gap down, and that gap was filled only here now in this profile. And this was the 30th November, the yesterday's profile, which we closed as a 313. It was a balanced profile, but it was understandable because we had a quick move away from this zone. So the auction was trying to catch its breath. And today again, we gapped up higher and made new all-time highs. So I'll not move ahead. We are talking about the monthly profile. So the monthly close. So here we have moved away. As in October, we had moved away from the value on the downside. We were expecting it to continue lower. And we had marked the monthly VPOCs on the downside. The first one was at 18707. So, but for that to happen, we had to first negate the responsive buying tail it had left, which it did not. So November, when it started with an initiative buying tail, and it went on to make mostly higher value all through the month. We either had higher values or we were forming overlapping values, like just I just showed. And the monthly closing is been away from this composite. In fact, the value of this is also overlapping, so we can as well merge this. But we have two very important references out of this, which one is the FA and the POC of November, which is at 19800, and then we have this composite 5 month balance now, where the auction is moved away from. So this will be our swing stop loss to remain long biased for the month of December. Other references on the monthly time frame, what we take forward and what we saw in the report also was, one is the POC of the month, which I've already shared, which is 19806, and the VWAP of the November series, which is at 19652. And November is a trend up month. So it is a very important VWAP which needs to hold not just for December 2023, but also going forward into the year 2024. So till this VWAP is held, we will be looking for upsides, more upsides. And these, because this is happening on the monthly time frame, the targets also will be on that scale. We will look at the monthly ATR. We've already crossed the all-time highs today in Nifty, and we have one event which is going to be out on Monday at open, because we have those election results. So once that event is out of the way, we can get some good volumes coming in and a good move going forward in December. So I'll quickly show you the weekly chart also. I'll just get back to a single screen. The weekly charts are nothing but combination of 5 days of profiles, which helps us to see what is happening on the weekly time frame. So I'll just quickly go to the October profile where we made those lows. And you can see on this weekly chart how this week, week ending 27th October, which was the monthly expiry week, the POC, weekly POC had shifted lower to this 1886, where these pink lines which extend to the right are POC lines which have not been tagged. They are virgin POCs or naked POCs, as we call them. So these are very important references, and when they have been left, like I had showed one example on the daily time frame, like how we were taking support just above the daily VPOC of 19693. So this being not supported meant the auction wants to fill up first this profile, which it did in the first week of November. There again, we found one prominent POC at this 19125 level. So what happened in next week of November is we opened higher. So we stayed above this POC. After this, of course, we had this balance, narrow range balance on the Diwali week. This small thing is the Diwali session, which we had the Mahurat session. So this POC you can see again was being held. So we took support here. We have been forming value either overlapping or higher. And then you can see in this week again we formed the POC at 19449 and we have taken a move away. We have a double distribution on the weekly time frame. And this was the previous week's profile where it was a very narrow range and we had this prominent POC at 19800, you can say, this 19800 level, and where we left an FA this week, and the way we have again have a trend up profile for this week, for this current week. So this first is also part of this week, so this will get added at the end of the day. So this will be a single profile which will be a double distribution trend up profile. So this is how we take references on the weekly time frame also, and which gives us very important clues. So this is how, and even in the reports you can see this is the weekly report of last week which is updated. These are spot levels. So you can see how every even in the week, on the monthly we have an explanation of what the auction did week wise. On the weekly we have a small write up about the auction, what auction does on a daily time frame. So this is the weekly, these are the daily profiles of the week, and here you can find the weekly profile, and then we have a small write up of what we can expect. So last week was a narrow 205 point range with completely higher value. So we were looking for initiative activity at open and which can start a fresh imbalance. So last week close itself, we were ready for a fresh imbalance because the structure of the market was telling us that. So we had these references. You can see daily VPOC, and this was the downside level, which was our reference. And upside, we had to take off this 19819 and this weekly selling handle of 1985 and 2017. So this is mentioned, also mentioned is the which week's profile these were. So as you can see, we have stayed above these levels and we have gone on to make new highs. So this report helps us to be in sync with what is happening on the daily time frame also, and it helps us to uh, keep in touch. And we have the same thing going for Bank Nifty also, a similar profile even on the monthly, even on the weekly. So we track Bank Nifty also same thing. And finally, we have this daily report which goes out end of the day. As I said, this contains the future values because we are trading only based on volumes, and volumes come only in futures. Spot does not have volume. Spot is good for taking references, and then we match them with the volumes we get in futures, and accordingly take this trade. So why I'm showing you these reports is because it is very important for us as traders, for an active trader, to come prepared, to do the homework and be ready when the market opens. So we need to know what is happening, what we need to do after the market opens. So we have a process which is in place, and we have these. One thing is we see what has happened before, and then we have these business areas which are given in the daily report, which we look for in live market and see what the order flow is showing us. And based on the order flow signals, we then accordingly take trades. So this is about the report. I'll quickly jump into, yeah. So coming into December, as long as uh, we are staying above the 4-month composite, we have in fact taken out the composite highs also now. So the 2200 2222, which was the all-time high, now will become a support, and we'll need to see how we react if we come there in the coming week. So that will be our support, and we have already left a buying tail today in the profile, the initiative buying tail. So Monday, that will be the important zone to watch for. And on the lower side, the POC I have already mentioned, and the VWAP of this month. So the rollover point, we also take into consideration the maximum volume which comes into an expiry day when a new series is starting. So yesterday the maximum rollover happened at 2270, and which is where I think we have closed spot today at. So that will be one another important reference which we will look for in futures as well as in spot. So just like how we moved away from previous month's rollover point to the upside, we will need to see how we move from the now December's rollover point. So these three important references will be carried forward, and all of them, whatever I have spoken now, would be mentioned in the monthly report, which I'll publish over this weekend. So, and that report is there for everyone to see on the website under the forum section. So, in case you want to explore more, you can go to the website of VTrender and go to the forum section, and you can see the articles. These are the articles in the forum section. So as you all must be aware, we have the VTrender trading room, which is for active traders, where all of us sit together, have a discussion on all through the day and see what trades we can take. We also have a audio session which goes on after the first hour gets over. The audio session lasts for 20 to 30 minutes, where we discuss about the open type and then what the initial balance range was and what we can expect going forward in the day. So all that is part of the VTrender trading room, mentoring room, which is definitely for the active traders, those who are actively trading the market day in and day out. And along with it, we also have the training library access, which has 15 extensive videos, which covers all the setups which we use in live markets. So if you are an active trader, this is definitely the place for you to be. And So we're done with the Nifty. I'll quickly shift on to the Bank Nifty monthly and then do a quick review of what has happened on the monthly time frame in Bank Nifty before we move on to how we can make use of all this information in the option chart. Bank Nifty spot, and we go to the monthly. So Bank Nifty, as you can see, we had made this all-time high in July. So after July, although Nifty has made two more all-time highs after July, Bank Nifty was not able to take off this high in the September move. In the September move, actually ended up retracing entire move because it closed right near the POC. So Bank Nifty was not as bullish as Nifty was, and even the value it had formed mostly lower value. So when we closed the now October series, the Bank Nifty had gone on to tag whenever in market profile, as I already told that VPOCs or POCs which have not been tagged form an important reference, and this is on all time frames. So in October, when we had that big fall in Bank Nifty, I think we made a high of 44710, and from there we went on to make a fall of more than 2,500 points. So we made this low of 42,000 change, I think. And this 42,193 was the POC of this profile in of April 2023. This also was a trend up profile. As you can see, it is an elongated profile in April. And this POC had not been tagged till now. So just like in Nifty, we saw that buying extension handle being tested of 18888 in October. In Bank Nifty, this POC was tested and we left a responsive buying tail here. As you can see, this is a zone of singles. So this point brought in some demand, and how it got confirmed is we got another initiative buying tail in Bank Nifty when we started up November. So Bank Nifty in fact was more bullish of the two because Nifty just made a trending move for the first 6 days and then it gave a retracement. But Bank Nifty went on to trend higher till this K. So this was, I think, almost the first 12 sessions. It made higher highs. So it went on to make similar highs at 4400, and it was bullish till this point. But after this, it kind of stalled and it formed a balance. Why it was doing it? You can see it was, if you stack the profile of the monthly, you can see why it was doing it. It was just filling up this zone of previous month profile, which had not got that much volume to form a bell curve. We had the zone of singles here and low volume, too many anomalies, and all of them were addressed by this. So in market profile, the auction forms tends to form a Gaussian curve or a bell curve on all time frames. And till the time it does not do it, it will form a balance and then it will then give a move ahead. After it may give the move again, it will form a balance. So we have this thing called as initial price movement, that's Chedelmeyer distribution. So where he very nicely explains that once we get an initiative move and then we form a balance and then again we get a initiative move. So that is what happened with both Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. We started the month with an initiative move, then we formed a balance, and then we continued the move which started the month. So we closed at the highs. And Bank Nifty yesterday, you could all see that we opened higher, but there was lot of selling which came in, and we had left this responsive selling tail on the monthly profile also, which was the cause of concern because although we had repaired these poor highs, Bank Nifty close was not as bullish as Nifty because Nifty closed at the highs yesterday. So, but today that thing was taken out because we have now got a buying tail and we have got about this highs of previous day. So whatever selling was seen yesterday has been either booked or been negated. So this is just the start of December. So we will need to see how we go forward. But Bank Nifty scale wise is got lot of work to do on the upside. So if we get a trending move in the coming week in Bank Nifty, we can look for good move higher and maybe a new all-time high also in Bank Nifty. So but we will take it session by session, week by week, and then the monthly thing. So quickly show the weekly chart, and all of this we can do on with a single click. We have the option on the bottom left to select the time frame. So from a monthly, I can quickly shift to the weekly. This is the weekly chart of Bank Nifty, and this is the daily. So this is how we have the combinations of these, and then accordingly see what is happening on the shortest time frame with important levels. So this is and Bank Nifty, the POC of this month is at 43619. I'll just get back to the monthly profile to show you. See, we have formed a nice balance and we have moved away from this balance. So this will be a swing reference, and the VWAP of this month is 43837. So these two would be important references going forward, and along with the rollover point of December series, which was at 44720. So that will be our immediate reference for the coming week. And 44720 is a futures value, but we will also track the same on spot also. So Bank Nifty as such is looking good for upside, and we what it will need to do is it will need to hold on to this AP rate single that has left on the daily time frame today. So then we can look forward for uh, a good up move continuing in December. So this was about the index, and I've also told you how we use all the time frames, get levels on the daily time frame, and see how volumes are getting placed on daily, and then take trades. So what helps us to take trade? Another goldmine of information we have is in this option table which we have on the chart. So as we most of us trade, not most of us, I think almost all of us are trading only options now. So options are actually got huge volumes, and the record keeps getting higher and higher on the turnover part. And with the three weekly expiries, four weekly expiries, sorry, of four different index every week, it is only bound to get higher and higher with the moves becoming faster. So this is the option table. You have all the four indices of NSE, the spot and the future levels, and this is the Nifty futures. I'll just make a quick run on how we can use this option table and what are the charts we can open. So in the money, option charts are the best to trade when we get some good signals in the order flow. We have made the plan, we have got the monthly report, weekly report, daily report, and then we are ready when the market opens with our business areas, everything is done. And then we are watching the order flow charts, we get some good signals. But how do we track and how do we trade them? So we can open any option chart, whichever option you're trading, it by one click you can open. Even if you're an option seller where you're into selling straddles and strangles, this is a very good place to open up all those charts. So you have the strike price right in the middle column, you have the call da- data on the left and the put data on the right. So you have these symbols next to the uh, premium. The first symbol has got the letters ABC, which is for the TPOs, which forms the market profile chart. So this will open up the market profile chart of any option, and the next symbol is a line, which will open up the line chart. So these any straddle chart you want to open of any of the strike price, you only have to click on any of one of these. So for example, we opened at 20,200. So you want to see the 20,200 straddle chart. So I'll click on this, and the straddle market profile chart of the straddle will open up in a new tab. So this is the market profile chart of the straddle of today. So as you can see, most of the time a straddle, if it is a range bound day or if it's an open auction in range, it will leave an A period selling tail and it will keep making lower lows. And this is very this happens many times on a expiry. So we have taken sessions on Thursdays where we have shown those examples where we open a straddle chart, the in the money call and put, which have been sold by big guys, and this is valid for all the four index which we have expiries every week. So this opens up the straddle chart, and you can split this. It'll give you the data, and the same thing if you open the line chart, it'll show you the open interest. I'll just have today's data so that it becomes. So here you can see right in the morning, the open interest is climbed up. So has the premium. But after that, it has just been uh, stalled in a small range. So the purple line is the POC, the green line is the VWAP. These are important references when you're watching a straddle chart, because you will want to, if you're an option seller, if you're a straddle seller, you would want the premium to be below these two references. So even on expiry days, the day we track Dukan trades are, we have these charts open, line charts open with the open interest, and we see which of the line chart is showing us a move like this. So when this happened in the morning, we immediately could have taken a trade in one of the two uh, option, which was the call or the put. So today, talking about today, this was definitely the 2200 call which gave us the move. So just getting back to the option table, and I'll also show you another thing. This left side, you have the same symbols. So it'll open up the 20,200 market profile chart of the uh, 20,200 call option market profile chart. So we can also watch both the call and the put in the same screen. How to do that? We have this tabs on the right. So if you have a bigger screen, you can go in for the 4 window view. This is the 4 window view, where you can watch 4 charts at a time. But because we have limited screen space, I'll go with the 2 window view. And on my left is the 2200 call. And on the right, I can select the 20,300 put. So having a watch, this profile charts gives you an important view of what is that. So you can see you have an AP rate buying tail in the call and an AP rate selling tail in the put. So you'll definitely be looking for long opportunities in the call option. Whereas in the put option, you will look to sell this put if you're an option seller. So this is how you can watch both call and put in the same screen. You can watch daily, weekly on the same screen if you're watching Nifty, and you can watch order flow on one side and market profile on one side. So all these options are there, and it pays to uh, trade, yeah, a little in the money option, because it is equivalent to almost 60 to 80% of what futures is. And at this with not to mention that with a lesser risk profile, and also flexibility in part booking the trades, because in futures you get stuck, the capital is stuck, and you will have to book it in big numbers. Whereas in options, you can go with multiple lots for the same risk, and then you can keep booking as and when you are getting those moves. So this is coming back to the option table. Yes, we have this open interest, the day's open interest, delta open interest, which is the change of open interest from previous day to today. And then we have the market profile references, which is the POC and the VWAP. We have it for the call and the put. We also have these volumes marked in orange for some strikes, and those strikes show us that they are attracting the highest volumes of the day. So whenever you are looking to trade, you would want to trade one of these strikes where you have got good volumes, which means good liquidity. So as I was telling, I'll just quickly open the 20,200 call line chart, because what we saw in the straddle, this move should be easily visible for us in the line chart as well. So in live markets, how we can take a trade on that? Again, I'll just push this to intraday only. And see, this is the time where it spiked over the POC and the VWAP. So 9:45 was that time. So this is when we go long in this call, and you can see how quick we got this move, and how the open interest which was building up till that point started to fall. And the rest of the day, it never started to rise again, it kept falling. End of the day, you can say it was a weekend, and it was a news based weekend, so you are seeing this drop in the OI. So this is how we make use of the option charts and the information which is available. We will need to set up first that what is important for us, and we'll have to then use that information and the charts to monetize the process. So it's on, and the same thing if you want to see the 2200. Sorry, I've just opened the straddle. Yeah, I'll open the put so that we can see how the 20,000 put was being written. So, so how we saw in the call, it was above the VWAP and the POC. You can see this how the open interest has begun to rise here, and after which, after the initial balance today, it stalled. There was not much rise in OI, and it is understandable because we did not make any higher highs after the initial balance today. We had a pretty big initial balance, so we remained inside the initial balance, which is why this part you can see there was not much of put OI increase. So what happens on days where we are making a trending move, you will see this put OI going on, going higher in case we are moving higher in the auction in Nifty futures, because the put writers will keep adding in. So this will be a move that you can continue to hold on to your long positions. But when this is stalled, when this is flat, that means nothing much is happening. The market is into a balance, which is what happened today. We ended up as a P-shaped profile. So after the morning move, which was looking like a drive up in both, and that A period singles were retained, there's not much of a extension to the upside. Although we tried to make new highs in the J period today in Nifty futures, but it was immediately rejected and we closed at the POC. So P-shaped profile with a buying tail to start the month is a good start, but we will need initiative buying to come up at today's POC in both Nifty and Bank Nifty. So only then we can get further confirmation that P-shape in itself does not mean uh, it is a very strong case of an uptrend. But yes, it is a good start, but we will need further confirmation on Monday and the coming week. So that is it from my side for now, guys. Any information, any queries you have, you can, I'll open up the floor for questions now. Any queries you want, you can ask them here, or you can make a note of my Twitter ID. It is at Uttam Goel. You can my DMs are open. You can message me on Twitter, and I'll definitely be happy to address your questions. So any queries about today's session, you can ask. I'll just open up the questions. Because we are already at 5:45, so I don't want to hold you for long on a Friday evening. All of us want to go relax at the weekend. So let's have those queries coming in. If not, we can close this session and sign off for a nice weekend. Fine, guys. So I think there are not much queries for now. So hope this session was helpful, and let's take it forward in the coming week, and we will definitely have more sessions like this where we continue to mark what the auction is doing in December, and with the references of today's, we will keep touching base with what the auction is doing ahead. So thank you for joining, all of you, and have a great weekend. So let us catch up next week, and all the best.